Welcome to class 7 students. This is the second part of the chapter, the classification of the living world. In my previous video, I discussed with you the need of these classification of the different varieties of organisms that are on our planet and what the advantages are of this biological classification. I hope you have understood till that portion. Next, we are going to start with the systems of classification. Now, there are two systems of classification. One is artificial and the second is natural. Okay, what is artificial and what is natural? Let's read from the book. Systems of classification, there are two broad systems of classification, the artificial system and the natural system. Okay, let's read the artificial system of classification. In the early days of classification, animals and plants were classified based on a few superficial characters. What is the meaning of superficial? The visible characteristics, but those characteristics that were visible from outside, such as size, lifespan, and presence or absence of certain body parts. The Greek philosopher Aristotle was the first to classify animals. He grouped them based on simple visible characters such as the presence or absence of red blood. Not all animals have red blood. Human beings have red colored blood, but have you seen a cockroach having a red colored blood? No. Whether they lay eggs or give birth to babies, among the animal world, some animals lay eggs. For example, birds, snakes, other reptiles, while other organisms give birth to babies, means young ones. For example, human beings, all different mammals like dogs, lions, cats, they all give birth to babies. Whether their body covering is hard or soft, whether they have wings or legs, and so on. So all these were the basis on which Aristotle classified or grouped different animals. Okay, now this classification was primarily based on superficial or artificial characteristics, which could be very different in their origin, internal structure, or function. In this kind of grouping, the major disadvantage was that the organisms that were otherwise very different were likely to be placed in the same group. So since this type of classification was done based on superficial or just visible characteristics, it could be so that although animals having similar superficial or visible characteristics, their origin, their actually they are very much different from each other. Okay, for example, and since they had similar characteristics, they were likely to be grouped in the same category. For example, animals grouped based on the presence or absence of wings put both birds and insects in the same group. So bird belongs to the phylum, means birds are vertebrates and insects are invertebrates. Insects belong to the group of arthropoda, while birds belong to the group of aves. Both are very different groups of animals, but since only due to the presence of wings and that they could fly, they were initially grouped into the same category. Next, this type of classification continued till the middle of the 18th century. So since scientists got to realize that this type of classification was not a very proper one, they stopped classifying animals, and they only continued it till the middle of the 18th century. After that came the natural type of classification. Okay, under natural classification there is one type of classification known as two kingdom classification. two kingdom classification. So what is this two kingdom classification? In 1758, Carolus Linnaeus, another very renowned scientist and whose contribution in this world of biological classification is immense. Okay, so Carolus Linnaeus proposed a more scientific method of classification based on similarities in physical and structural characters. He classified all living organisms in two separate kingdoms. Only two kingdoms were given by them, and from the name only you can understand that. Organisms that were stationary, that means that could not move and could prepare their own food, were classified as plantae, meaning plants. On the other hand, those that could move but not prepare food on their own were grouped as animalia or animals. So Carolus Linnaeus gave this two kingdom classification, where he put forward only two kingdoms, kingdom plantae and kingdom animalia. This system came to be known as two kingdom classification system, or the modern system of classification. Okay, so it was given by Carolus Linnaeus. Just beside that paragraph you will find a Know Your Scientist box. There you will find some details about Carolus Linnaeus. He was a Swedish botanist. He is popularly known as the father of taxonomy. Very, very important, who was known as the father of taxonomy. Your answer will be Carolus Linnaeus. Note the spelling of Linnaeus. His system of naming, ranking and classifying organisms is still in wide use. He compiled the book Systema Naturae. The spelling will be Systema, Systema, no E after Systema. Okay, Systema Naturae, Naturae. Naturae is incorrect spelling only. He introduced the binomial system of classification or nomenclature. What is the binomial system of nomenclature? When scientific names have two parts in their name, one is the generic part and one is the specific part, is known as binomial system of nomenclature. Okay, I hope till this much it is clear to you all. I will continue with the general plan of classification by Linnaeus, which is there right after this topic. Linnaeus's general plan of classification, how he further classified these two kingdoms, animalia and plantae. That is also a very important topic, and we will get to know that in the next video. Okay, thank you.